Hello, photographers, and welcome to week 5 of Quarantine Art Photo Edition. This week is a little bit different. You're given the opportunity to take a breath. This is a bit of a catch-up week, a redo week, a level up week, and so I'm going to explain that. So you don't have 3 new prompts this week like you normally do. We're going to take a breath, take a look back at the last 4 weeks, and you're going to show me your best stuff from those last 4 weeks. So let's walk through it. All right, so the slide deck is a little bit different. We'll be asking you different things this week. This week is how might you show your best possible work from our last 4 challenges. All right, so if we take a look at that question in a little bit more detail, in terms of showing, obviously we've been using Google Photos, links, explanations, descriptions inside those photos, the strongest photos, so you're explaining your thought process and your setup and things like that. In terms of looking at your strongest examples, I'm going to be asking for your best examples of camera technique or composition or experimentation. I want you to kind of think back to the 12 prompts or hashtag prompts, challenges, whatever you want to call them, and think about which really put my best foot forward. All right, so our last 4 weeks it's also an opportunity, because this is like a bit of a breather week. Have you completed everything? Right, so maybe you had a really heavy week in chemistry 1 week and you actually didn't turn in week 3, say. Well, this is your opportunity to catch up on that. So let's walk through that. The checklist is, have you take a look at the 4 turn-in docs? Have you completed them? Do you have strong examples for what I'm about to show you with the evaluation check-in? How are you going to show your best work? What week maybe shows your best setup? The time that you made a studio and really paid attention to how you built that photograph. Where you're really thinking about your composition, that kind of thing. All right, so do you need to complete a component? And that might not be the whole thing. Maybe that is on 1 week you only got 2 of the hashtags shot, but the third one you're like, I didn't have any ideas at the time. So because it's a bit of a catch-up week, are there any weeks that you can use this opportunity to not have a new challenge to be able to catch up on that? And then getting feedback. You're like, I don't know, I shot so much, I don't know which one of those my strongest ones. This is your opportunity to reach out to your peers, to me, that kind of thing. You're welcome to make a shared doc, not a shared doc, but a shared Google Photos album. You can go which are my strongest photos? I don't know, and get feedback from me and from your classmates and things like that, which ones your strongest ones are. So those are some ideas for how you might tackle this week. The look fors I'm going to be looking for are, and I'll take you a look at the actual turn-in doc in a second, but I'm going to be looking for what you think is your best example of composition, your best example of camera technique, best example of experimentation, your most creative interpretation of a weekly challenge, the challenge that you invested the most time into. Maybe it's the setup or what have you, the one that really took you the most time, a time where you took a lot of care, planning, and work into the setup of your shot, that you really like being a director and making sure that all the parts of the puzzle were in place for that. And then the final product that you're most proud of. Kind of think of it is your best of show, the one that you're like, yes, that photo from week 2, that is my strongest photo so far. All right, so that's what you're going to be looking at as we go through, and this is your opportunity to level up. One thing you will have the opportunity, if you wish, is to redo a certain hashtag or do a certain challenge. If you did one, you're like, yeah, I did it, I was busy, wasn't super inspired at the time, I think I could do better. This is your opportunity to do that as well, right? So you're thinking okay, I shot it like this, the train tracks, how can I get a better composition, thinking about getting down low or what have you, changing your perspective and taking an existing challenge and reshooting it in order to level up to get better. All right, so the evaluation check-in doc is going to look a little bit different this week because you don't have a new shooting challenge. So let's dig into that now, okay? So this is what it's going to look like. Okay, so here are the look fors that we just went through, and here, anything that's kind of that peachy color, that's what I'm expecting you to fill in. Okay, the grays are what I'm going to be filling in. Okay, so in the table below, you're going to fill in this. So you're going to go, what is your best example of composition? And that might not be just a single photo. but that might be a link to your strongest compositions. Okay, so if you want to make a new Google Photos album with your best example of composition, you can do that. What week does it come from, and what was the name of the hashtag? Okay, was it from my window frame? Was it simplicity? That kind of thing. Okay, same thing. Best example of camera technique, experimentation, most creative interpretation, and so on. Just as we've gone through, list the week 1, 2, 3, or 4, and what was the hashtag challenge within that week. Okay, so whether it was the virtual learning portraits from this past week or something like that. Okay, I'm going to be looking for a variety here. Okay, so if it's all week 2 because you were killing it in week 2, that's fine, but I'm also looking for a variety so that your examples aren't just coming from a single week or a single hashtag. So I'm looking for that variety. Okay, what I'm going to be looking at, and you notice that I'm going to be giving you a level for this for the first time. It's been feedback. This is you putting your best foot forward. Okay, so that's why I'm asking you to select your best images, your best photographs, that kind of thing, in order to show me your best stuff. Okay, so that's what I'm going to base your work on, not on your work on everything. I'm not going to look at all your albums from all 4 weeks. I want you to show me your best stuff so you do the best possible, essentially. So I'm going to be looking here. This is for me to fill in here. I'm going to be looking. Have you turned in all 4 weeks? 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you haven't, well, this is your opportunity. Like, I didn't do week number 3. Got busy with science. Okay, I got to get caught up to make sure that I got a check mark for week 3, that I have actually turned in all 4 weeks of my challenges. Did you show understanding of the challenge? Am I seeing that, like, the challenge matches up with what you're taking photos of, or you just kind of not quite getting it, or not really using the examples that are in the slideshows? Have you filled in the turn-in doc each week? Are you doing that? Are you making your albums of your all shots and your best shots? That kind of following process? And are you really, and the ones that you're really going above and beyond, I might add checks for, like, wow, I can really tell you're not just completing it, that you're really experimenting, that you're having fun diving in and really going above and beyond in terms of your experimentation. And so that will all shake down to a level 2. So you are going to get an overall level to see kind of where you're at with these distant learning photo challenges. Okay, at the end here, there's an optional level up. Okay, so if you'd like to kind of do a redo to show your best foot forward, to show you that you are invested in improving yourself as a photographer and in the work, that you've done it once, but you want to do it better now, is this one. Okay, so like this is my first version of week number 1, and you can add the week and the hashtag, and then you can just put your old work on the left hand side here, your old Google photo albums, and then your redo of that week, that hashtag. So you're like, okay, that went okay, I think I could do better, and this is my first attempt, now this is my second attempt, and you're gonna like level up, okay, on that. So that's optional, but if you're really like pushing to like push yourself, push for the strongest mark that you are, that you're hoping to get, that's one opportunity that you can do if you'd like. Okay, it is a rubric of sorts. You are getting levels, but it doesn't look it's a bit of like a check-in. So here at the bottom is kind of the general descriptors of what I'm looking for level 4, 3, 2, 1. You can dig into that. Level 4 is that's when you're really going above and beyond. Level 3 is you've done what is asked. Level 2 is you've done a basic job, or you're missing some components, and so on. So you can kind of like understand where those marks are coming from in terms of the levels. Okay, so to summarize, this week, no new challenge. This is a catch-up week. Make sure that everything's done, that you've got all your albums and whatnot. If you've done all the work up to now, this is your opportunity to show me your best stuff, because I'm going to be looking at your best stuff in order to assign a mark on the body of the work from the 4 weeks. So if there was some hashtags that you're like, yeah, it was okay, didn't really work out so well, just leave it to the side, show me your best stuff. And if you want, as I said, there's the optional level up possibility. So if you had something that you did before, you maybe really liked it, and you think you could do even better this time, that's a possibility too, okay? As always, please reach out to me if you want to make an album and you're like, I don't know which ones should I pick to show what are my best ones of composition or technique, or I don't understand what you mean by technique. All of those questions, you can either use the FAQ doc and tag me in a comment, or send me a personal email to make sure that you're putting your best foot forward. Okay, so hopefully that works out well. Good luck this week, and hopefully you can use this time to take a breath, catch up, make sure that everything's all good. Okay, have a great week, guys.